In addition to drawing curves on a NURB surface, you can also project them. So you can take a curve that's outside the surface and project it onto the surface. Let's look at how this applies to this spaceship. Now I added one more object to this spaceship, and that's the cowl of the spaceship. But what I've done is I've basically taken a sphere and lopped off the bottom, cut it, detached it, and then created this basic cowl. But I need to connect it to the surface of the spaceship. I also need to put a window in it. So let's go ahead and start off with the window in this cowl. I'm going to create a curve that's going to be the shape of that window. So I'm just going to be very simple here. I'm just going to take a simple NURBS circle and just draw it in. And then I'm going to reshape it just a bit. So I'm going to get it kind of into a window shape. I'm going to right click above it, do Control Vertex here, take these vertices and scale them outward to square off that window just a little bit. And then go back into object mode and then select it as an object and bring it back. Now when I created this, it created that 0, but I'm going to go ahead and move it in front of that cowl so we can see it. So basically I want that to be the shape of my window. So if I look at the spaceship from the front, I'm going to see this outline for the window. Now we can get this curve onto this surface by projecting it. So all I need to do is make sure that everything is lined up. Now I'm going to do this in the front viewport. Now when you project along the view of the camera typically. So I want this to actually be square to the camera. So this is why I'm using an orthographic viewport. And I want to make sure that I've got everything centered. Okay. So all I have to do is select the curve and then select the surface. So shift select the surface. And then under Edit NURBS, I'm going to do Project Curve on Surface. When I do that, it creates a curve. So let's go ahead and jump out to our perspective view. And you can see what it's done is it's actually thrown that curve onto the surface on both sides. So I've got one in the front, but I also have one in the back. And now when I click off of this, you can see that when I select this surface, I've got these two curves. Now I really only need the curve in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and select this curve in the back here. I'm going to go into wireframe mode so I can select it more easily. I'm going to select that curve there and hit delete and delete that. And then go back into shaded mode, hit 5. And you'll see that when I move my object, the curve moves along with it. So I want to disconnect that. So all I have to do is select my cowl, go Edit, Delete by Type, History, and that freezes that curve on that surface. So now at this point, I can take my originating curve here and delete that as well. So now I have this curve on surface, and I'm going to show you in the next video exactly how to turn that into a window.